I have been on holidays for 10 days or 11 days, I think, now. And there's an issue. I've bought over 20 books. I think I've bought like 22 books or something, and I'm backpacking. So I have to find a way to get 22 books home. Look, it was fine. I lugged five from Edinburgh to London, and that was okay. It wasn't that fun. It got a little bit heavy, but it was fine. But today I accidentally bought 17 books. I went on a book crawl with Dakota Warren, and she showed me around London, all the bookshops, all the things that as a book fanatic you have to do, and of course, that ended in a lot of damage to my bank account, to my back, most likely when I have to transport all these. I think I'm going to have to ship these home in a few days. That's also probably going to cost me another 200 Australian dollars. But it is what it is. At least it'll be like another unboxing when I get home and am all depressed from my holiday being over. Anywho's, I'm going to show you and talk you through all the books I've bought. We're going to go in order from just when I bought them, I guess, and the bookshops I bought them from. So, first of all, I'm just going to get right into it. I went to Dublin first for, I think, 4 nights, if I'm correct. Lovely. Not my favorite place. I thought I would like it a little bit more. Parts of it were quite a low socioeconomic area and a little bit dirty and things, but there was also a really beautiful part to it and a lot of history around literature. And yeah, it is very, very interesting. So I went to Hodges and Figgis, and this is where I bought these books from, if I'm correct. I think it was the only one. I also went to the Gay Dublin Theatre Festival, which is over now, but it was absolutely amazing. We went to two performances, and it was just random that it was on at the time we were there. It was like, must have been a sign. But the first book I bought is Pretentiousness and Why It Matters. Fitzcarralds here are a lot cheaper than in Australia. In Australia, they're around at least $30 each. Here, they're like 20, if that. So like this was 15 Australian dollars. This is Pretentiousness and Why It Matters by Dan Fox. It's just essays on pretentiousness. I already read it. Very big brain energy. Some of it I agreed with it, some not so much. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that. Glad to have read it because it's been on my list. So yeah, I bought that. I then also got Exteriors, which I read on the plane. Brody didn't know this when I bought this. He was a bit annoyed at me for buying it after I'd already read it. But we're going to see the Exteriors exhibition in Paris. Uh, and so I read it on the plane, and I wanted a physical copy just because I don't know. I like collecting the Fitzcarralds. They're beautiful. And that's a beautiful edition. I like the size of it. I then bought two more books while we were in Dublin. These are all from Hodges and Figgis. Hodges and Figgis is the oldest bookshop in Dublin. It, the staff were quite rude there, actually, which it does make it as a nice experience buying books. However, yeah. Anyway, I got some Oscar Wilde books because I've never read Oscar Wilde. I don't know when I'll get to these, but I think I will eventually when the time comes. But we did a lot to do with Oscar Wilde, the Writers' Museum, the an Oscar Wilde's house and the statue. And I know a lot about Oscar Wilde. I just have never read a lot of his things. And so after we went to the Oscar Wilde house, I had to buy these. So I got the Picture of Dorian Gray, ugly cover. I know, don't come for me, but it was the cheapest one. This was like 10 Australian dollars. It was five euro, and then this was €3. This was like $6. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Like this is a hate crime. This cover, but I bought it nonetheless. So that's De Profundis. These are the letters, the Ballad of Reading, Jail, and other writings. So this is all from his time in prison. So very, very interesting. We then moved to Edinburgh. Edinburgh has my heart. So far, my favorite place, beating London. I am enchanted by this city. I love it. Like it's I cannot describe. We did like a Harry Potter tour, we did like dungeon tour, we did the castle. So many beautiful bookshops. The bookshop that I bought these from almost brought me to tears. It's called Lighthouse Books. It's a queer-owned bookshop with such an amazing, amazing selection. And I was in heaven there. There was so many books. I was just so overwhelmed. But I purchased two, not cheap by any means. The first book I got is Something Bright. Then Holes Ben, I know, like, or has read this, and I saw it, and I love Maggie Nelson, so I had to get this. Yeah, poetry collection. I think it's her first poetry collection, if I'm correct. But I'm excited for this. Has Olivia Lang quote on the back, so happy with that. I then got Wrong Norma by Anne Carson because I've seen a lot of my friends here on BookTube reading it. Um, so yeah, I had to buy that. Poetry collection, beautiful, nice and thick. That's gonna have to go home because I want to save that for the perfect time. Um, Yeah. Anywho's, got that. Those are the 5 books I bought on the first few, like the first week and a bit of my holiday. Edinburgh, I thought I'd buy a few more books, but I didn't. I was well behaved because I knew when I got to London it was going to be bad. And today something happened. I'd only bought a few, and then something just happened, and here we are. Anywho's, the first place Dakota took me to was Daunt Books. Daunt Books, I'm not going to put a photo up. You can look it up. I'm trying to edit less on these videos. So, Daunt Books is this beautiful bookshop. It's like the picturesque one. You would have seen it everywhere. There'll be vlogs on my TikTok, so you'll be able to see it there. But amazing, amazing bookshop. I was in awe of it. And I bought Hot Milk from there by Deborah Levy. Deborah Levy, I love her. I love her autobiographical living series, and I've read August Blue. That's the only fiction I've read. I've also got an arc of the position of spoons, but I don't know. I feel like Hot Milk's going to be better for this Euro summer, so I probably won't ship this one home. I'm thinking of keeping that here. That's the only thing I got from Daunt Books, along with this beautiful tote bag. Everybody in London has been walking around with these. How cute! I'm obsessed. It's like almost a better Shakespeare and Co. Like it's more heavy duty. I love it. It's good for books. It like fits a laptop. I'm gonna use this a lot. But the only thing I wish it had is like Daunt Books London, because it doesn't have anything to do with London on it, which is like a bit sad. I've also been buying patches as souvenirs for my backpack, and we've been getting magnets for our fridge. So, anywho's, Daunt Books was a sleigh. I loved it. I don't know if I'm upset I didn't get like a maroon bag instead, but I think the blue's the most versatile for the clothes I wear to match. Okay. I then went to the London Review of Bookshop, and the London Review of Books, I was in heaven there. Crazy, crazy, like such a beautiful curation of literature. I loved it. Like a good amount of essays, so much poetry, good fiction, very, very interesting. Also about Daunt Books, sorry, tangents, I know. Daunt Books is organized by where the book was written, or like where the book's from. So there's like a London, an Australian section, whatever. They're interesting, hard to navigate. You need so long in there to go through. I think I would have found a lot more if I was there for a bit longer. But I knew that I was going to have no shortage of books to buy. And most of the shops do have such a large selection of books that you can find anything you're looking for at every shop. So then, London Review of Books, as I said, amazing, everything I thought it would be. And I ended up buying 5 books there. So the books I bought, the first one I bought is Miss Major, which is Conversations with a Black Trans Revolutionary. It's Miss Major Speaks, sorry. And Miss Major was a major cornerstone for the Stonewall riot. And I think this is a very important read. My friend Lauren loves this book, Lauren Louise, the Big Book Lady. And so I wanted to pick that up, and I saw it, and I was like, this is a good read. It has some photos in it. It's not too long, and I think it will be quite sad as well. So who knows? I then got Too Much and Not in the Mood. This is an essay collection. Maggie Nelson, this is informed by Maggie Nelson, a lot of it apparently. And I'm very excited for this because Maggie Nelson is my favorite. I have this essay collection on my Kindle as well. Don't tell Brody. And I am going to read this soon, I think. But Durga Chow Bose is actually producing Bonjour Triste, the film, the new film coming out. So that's very interesting. Essay collections, I always love them. Your Love Is Not Good. A few of my friends here have been reading it. This is about an artist, maybe in Germany, if I'm correct. Oh no, it's in Los Angeles. Why did I think it was in Germany? But it's about like a queer artist and the art community, and I'm hoping it gives autobiography of X vibes because I loved that book. So I love the cover on this too. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I then got The Orange by Wendy Cope, one of my favorite poems of all time. We don't have this in Australia. I've seen everybody getting it, but I'm afraid Australia has not received this Faber edition, and I feel like this will have a good collection of her poems, like a good taste. So I'm excited for this. I love the cover, really cute. I then finally got The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. Now, mixed reviews on this, but I really wanted like a good book to like sink my teeth into. Like sometimes, when you feel like you want a long book, you want something like to really get into. I thought The Bee Sting would be a good one, and we do have a copy at home. My mum and dad have a copy, but it's like the big one, and I hate big books, like the new release in Australia. So I wanted like a small one. This is a good size. It's nice and big, chunky. So when I decide, I actually think I might start this and read it as we go, because if I have just this one book, it should last me. Because I haven't been reading an awful lot. It's like 600 pages, so I might keep this and send everything else back, which is psycho. But yeah, The Bee Sting by Paul Murray. If you've read it, let me know. I know there's a lot of mixed reviews, but a lot of people really do love it, and I want to get into reading some longer books that are like great novels, if you know what I mean. Then this is where it all went downhill. That wasn't too bad. If I had that, I would have been like, okay, good boy. Like that's not too bad. It went downhill quick. So Dakota had to go, and I was like, oh, where's the bookshop that's like big? Like it's like a big one. And she's like, oh, Foyles. So I went to Foyles. Why did I go to Foyles? This is where I went to Foyles and I lost all control. I have this thing where once I buy like 2 or 3 books, it's like, okay, well, I've already bought 2 or 3. What's another like 10? Really bad personality trait. Don't. Oh my god, I opened this by accident. Brady's not going to be happy. He told me not to open anything because I should wait till I get home so then I can unbox it all again. But a slip cover's sort of just open, so I might have to look at it. Anywho's, I bought 5 novels. No, why am I lying? I bought a lot more than that. I think I bought maybe like 8. So I'm just going to start from what's on the top of my pile. The first book I bought in there is The Alphabetical Diaries by Sheila Heti. I've read this on my Kindle, but this is a signed copy. She was at Foyles yesterday apparently signing copies, so it has this little Sheila Heti. I loved this book though. It's signed. That's pretty special. I like that. I don't have that many signed copies of books, so I'm loving starting to collect those a bit. I then got this, and I don't know what came over me. I don't know why I bought it, but I didn't really read Merboys. This is about queer mermen. I don't know. I'm probably really not going to like this, but I'll read it anyway. Yeah, look. I don't know what came over me. It's signed as well. And I think it says something on it. I think it says, to you, enjoy this. I don't know what it says. Messy handwriting. I then got Stag's Leap by Sharon Olds. I read, what did I read of? I read Ballads by Sharon Olds last year, and I really, really enjoyed it. I enjoyed her interview with On Being. Very, very, very valuable. And I know Ben loves Sharon Olds, so I picked this up. It's very hard to get here in Australia. So back in Australia. So I got that. I then went to the music section, and there was Why Patti Smith Matters. It says it's not a biography, and this is not a hagiography. This is a book about Patti Smith's work because it's her work that matters, and because of her dedication to and her value of the labour within the creative process. The flyer advertising her first ever performance at St. Mark's Church in 1971 states, Patti Smith work. Patti Smith has always worked. She is still working. She's never stopped. I'm going to love this. I love like artists on artists, or why artists matter, writers on writing. It's all up my alley. And I saw this, and like I think, oh, I'm going to eat this up. I know, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's gonna be my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I honestly want to start reading that. Anywho's, no, I think I need to read some fiction at the moment, because I think the reason I haven't read, like, I had a 4.5 hour train ride from Edinburgh to London, and I didn't read it all because I think pretentiousness and white matter put me in a slump. Anyways, here's something for your eyes. This is Diary of a Steak. I've never heard of this, but it's Deborah Levy apparently. I don't know what this entails. This little thing says, "Do you want to hear my erotic music?" Very, very strange. This is like a slipcover as well, but good short read. I think a good short read it'll come in handy at some point. I then got Stillborn by Guadalupe Nettle. This is talking about the consequences and the decision surrounding whether or not to have children. It is fiction, and it follows this woman in her 30s, and throughout her pregnancy and throughout the years following that. I think it's going to be very, very good. I have this fascination with this topic at the moment in my 20s. And especially after My Work by Olga Rand, I really, really enjoyed that. And I think this is going to give somewhat of the same energy. So I'm excited about that. And Fitzcarraldo. Look, I don't know how many Fitzcarraldos I've got now, but I'm racking them up, and I love it because Fitzcarraldos are my favorite. I then got Arrangements in Blue by Amy Key. I don't really know why I got this, to be honest. I shouldn't have got it. But this is sparked from Joni Mitchell's album Blue, and it is fiction. It's talking about the absence of romantic love and what that means for someone at that age, and it's about blue as well. So, of course, I'm gonna want that. I probably could have got this at home, but anyways, I bought it now. I was just like, what's another one? And this cost me like almost 20 Australian dollars. Still cheaper than at home. So then I was like, cool, sweet. And then I went to the coffee table section. I know you're saying, why did I do that? I don't know why, because now I've got four coffee table books. The first is, I'm going to cover this because I've been having issues on TikTok, but this is Robert Mapplethorpe's Polaroids. I have wanted this for so long. No shops in Australia stock Robert Mapplethorpe books because I don't know why. Obviously not up Australian streets, obviously, except mine. But I decided that I was going to get this because when I saw it, oh my god. And this was not expensive at all. This was like, yeah, this was a good price for what it was. I can't believe it. So I got that. It's just a series of Robert's Polaroids. I then got Camera Solo by Patti Smith. Again, cannot get this in Australia. Never seen it. Wanted it for so long. This is in wrapping, and Brody's telling me to leave all this stuff in wrapping. So then, when I get home, I can unwrap them, look at them for the first time. Double dopamine. So I do agree with him. I think it is a good idea, but it's just really hard right now. But this is a collection of Patti Smith's photographs, and I'm obsessed with it. I then got David Hockney. So anyone who knows me knows that I love sausage dogs. I have a sausage dog, and sausage dogs are my favorite things ever. I love them. And David Hockney is one of my biggest style inspirations. He is an eclectic grandpa personified, and I love it. So I love his art, and I have another David Hockney book. But David Hockney did this really iconic series of paintings of his dogs, and you can see his dogs right there. But this book is all just like photos of his, or pictures, drawings, paintings of his sausages. And I just thought it was really cute, and I loved it. So I was like, I have to get it. So I did. Yeah. And finally, I got the Robert Mapplethorpe archive, and I pulled this out. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna have a look at it. Like, I'm not gonna get it. It's gonna be way too expensive. This was one of the cheapest books I got. I don't know whether they were trying to get rid of it, but this was only 30 Australian dollars. And look how thick it is. And it has an introduction by Patti Smith, or essays by Patti Smith and Jonathan Weinberg. So sort of iconic. I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with it all. I'm very disappointed in my self control. I obviously don't have much of it, but I am glad for all these books. I'm not gonna say I'm on a book buying ban because that would be a lie. I've still got to go to Gaze the Word, probably on Wednesday. I don't think I'm gonna buy too much. I feel like I've sort of seen everything I wanted to get, and now I've collected it all. So yeah, very very happy with my purchases. I'm happy to speak to you. It's been a little while. I'm just gonna chuck this up. The production quality is not gonna be that great. The microphone's on. Hopefully it's working. And yeah, that's about it. There will be a vlog going up in the next few days. I'm trying to make sure I have enough clips. I want to give you guys something that's long enough for you to enjoy. So yeah, I'll talk to you soon. It's lovely to speak to you. Toodaloo. Bye.